Now walking into Walmart to show you the top 6 lures that absolutely slay bass and are guaranteed to catch fish basically anywhere in the country. There's a lot of stuff in the fishing aisle, flashy packaging, new gimmicks, expensive lures, but after fishing for 30 years, testing these lures across creeks and ponds and rivers and lakes and tournaments, these are 6 baseline confidence baits, the ones that always produce. Let's head back to the fishing aisle and see what we can come up with. All right, so the first lure, guys, is gonna be this right here. It's going to be the CHATTERBAIT Elite Evo. So I'm loving the green pumpkin over here. And they usually don't have jackhammers, which is not a problem. But if you need a reaction bite, this is your #1 Walmart pick, period. So the power of the CHATTERBAIT isn't in the skirt, right? It isn't even the color. It's the vibration. That blade starts thumping the instant you turn that handle. And the bass feel that through their lateral line long before they ever see that bait. So it's like a dinner bell underwater. When you combine that vibration with the flash of that blade, this is going to trigger that natural predatory response, right? Something's moving, it's close, go hit it now. And the best part, even if the bass can't see it, right, they can feel it. That's why it crushes around vegetation. I mean, you could slow roll this thing, you can yo-yo it, you can burn it, or just simply cast it out there and wind it back, and the bait really does the work for you. Now that you have your Evo, and I didn't see Z-Man trailers, if you go down here and if you can find these Yamamoto baits, these are going to be the 4-inch Zekos. They make fantastic trailers for the back of these CHATTERBAIT Elite Evos. So if you can find these, you match the color up, right? So I'm looking for a green pumpkin. They don't have a lot of selection here. They essentially have blue pearl, silver fleck, and black with large blue, purple fleck. But nonetheless, these are money. And I'll throw a link, since they don't have them here, to a bunch of the trailers I like from Z-Man that it's gonna last a long time. Lure number 2 is going to be a Wacky Rig Senko. And really all you need is some type of 5-inch stick bait. You can get it from Straight King. These are money. I really love, these are expensive, but some of the best on the market. These are gonna be the Senkos you can get from Yamamoto Baits. But you can see here, you know, you have to get 8 in there and they're $5. However, if you're on a budget, head on down here to the Creme brand. And I used to buy all these out. I think they call them actually the Wacky Stick, right? They're $1.25. So you're essentially looking at like a quarter a piece. And these are gonna be, I don't know, like 80 cents a piece. So keep that in mind. And then what you'll do is turn around, head over to the hook section. And you can put it on a Gamakatsu octopus hook, size 1. You can use a size 1/0, and essentially you just hook that hook right to the center of that worm. You throw it out, and it flutters on the fall. And I tell you what, those bass can't handle it. So that is lure number 2, the Wacky Rig. Now, quick tip: if you're fishing clear water, you want to stick with that green pumpkin, this color right here. If you're fishing dirty water, you want to go to a black and blue. Let me find like something like this up here, like Yum Dinger. Something darker. It's going to throw that contrast in the water. It's going to get those bass' attention a lot better. Also in that summer heat, skip it under the docks, skip it under those overhangs. This right here is the single best bait on the shelves at Walmart for beginners, or really for anybody who just wants a bite. So if you start anywhere, start with these. Third bait is going to be down here, guys. This is going to be the Ned Rig, and you can buy it in a kit. This is going to be the Straight King Ned Ocho. Now the Ned Rig is the ultimate I don't care what the conditions are, I just want to catch fish setup, right? When everything else shuts down, this really is going to keep you in the game. So why it works, it's simply a small plastic on a light mushroom shaped jig head. And in these kits, if you can see it really well, it actually comes with those jig heads in the kit. And this is going to create that Ned posture as this takes us down to the bottom of the water column, right? And so the plastic stands straight up off the bottom, perfectly mimicking a tiny goby, a minnow, or a crawfish kind of feeding. And it's really just an easy meal bass cannot ignore. So I usually come in here and I get the green pumpkins, and I get some of the darker ones. Let me see. These are going to be the watermelon red fleck. And you can find black and blue. Those are great too. So these are going to be money in like cold water, highly pressured fisheries, those creeks, those rivers, or anytime you're getting humbled and you really just need a bite. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 pounders on this bait right here. If you're struggling or just need a bite, tie on a net, right? It's as close as a cheat code in bass fishing you're gonna get. So the next lure I have for you is going to be down here. This is going to be a football head jig, and I like the 3/8 of an ounce. You can get a 1/2 ounce if you're going deeper water, but if you are looking for big bass bites over like numbers, this is going to be money for you. And so you want to get the football head jig. There's a lot of different jigs or swim jigs. Look for the football head to start off with. So I would head over here, and you can put some type of just river bug on there, or some type of creature on the back of this. I typically like to match the color to the jig head. And so this is going to be money for those big bass bites. If you don't want to buy 2 separate kits, you head back down here and they actually sell them in kits, right? This is going to be a 1/2 ounce Strike King football head jig with 2 rage tail trailers. And so if I was buying one, it'd be this one right here, the Pro Model jig, 3/8 of an ounce. It comes with 2 trailers, and boom, I think this is like $4.77. And so if you want to just buy something, go and start trying out the jig, this is it. 3/8 of an ounce Strike King works really well here in Ohio, that green pumpkin. And the reason these are money is because it perfectly mimics a crayfish, right? The diet for most bass year round. They're also going to create that big, bold bottom profile. A lot of those bottom hugging big bass like to eat. And they're pretty versatile. You can swim, you can hop, you can drag it, you can skip these things under docks, under overhangs. They simply just work. Remember, green pumpkin for clear stained water, black and blue for that muddy water. The thing about jig bites, right? Most people expect a thump every time, but jigs get hit usually off the bottom. So bass aren't coming up and hitting and then going back down where you would typically get that thump, because they're eating them off the bottom. So in most cases, you're going to feel like a tap tap, or you're going to feel that mushy weight, or your line's going to suddenly move to the left or suddenly move to the right. And so you got to really train yourself to detect those subtle signs. But once you get it, that jig becomes a 12-month big bass tool. It's going to shine a lot of times in those rocks and those laydowns, wherever there's wood, that deep offshore structure. If Walmart sold a big bass guarantee, this would be it. All right, let's move on to the next lure. Next up is going to be the Texas rig. So you're going to need some type of 5-6 inch worm, usually with a curly tail. And then we head down here. We're going to want to get a 3/0 EWG hook, just like those right there, the Fusion. And you want to head over here to the weights. You can get some worm weights. These are pretty cheap. So you can get kind of 1/8 ounce. This is going to work just fine. So once you get these hooked up, this is a power bait, right? You're going to basically put the worm weight on, put the hook on, and then hook up the bait here. And I got a video that can explain it in more detail, but you basically just throw this out, let the weight hit the bottom, kind of lift and drag. You want to best place to use this is going to be like grass lines, and through grass, around timber, those points and humps and those creek channels. And if you're totally new, you're going to want to learn the Texas rig, and you can unlock the entire sport. All right, last up is actually, we're going to utilize 2 of the baits that you already have in your cart. It's going to be your octopus hook size 1, and then your stick bait. And what you can do is you can hook it up just like a wacky rig, and then put a nail weight into the end. So let's see if they have any nail weights. Any nail weights? Any nail weights? Those are too heavy. So they don't have any nail weights here. They usually do, but essentially you just stick it into the end here. And then you have what's known as a Neko rig setup, right? The Neko rig is like the finesse power play. It falls faster than a wacky rig, but keeps that seductive, fluttery action you're not going to get with that Ned rig, right? So it's similar to the wacky worm that I talked about. However, with a nail weight in the end, you can cover more water faster. It gets down to the bottom faster. It's incredible for vertical rock transitions and river ledges. And it still gives you that worm flex and wobble with that minimal movement. River seams and deep dock pylons and really cold water, the Neko rig or Neko rig, whatever you want to call it, is a sick performer. So if you want a finesse bait that fishes fast, check out and try out the Neko rig. I'm telling you what, slept on bait. So there you go, guys. 6 Walmart bass lures that always gets bites. These aren't gimmicks, right? If you want gimmicks, well, let me show you gimmicks. Head over here and buy the Phantom Spider. We're not talking gimmicks here. These are proven baits I use constantly, and you've seen them. They put fish in the kayak video after video. Now, of course, I go into deeper detail. If you want to head into those videos, retrieval speed, where to fish it, line, rod, all that stuff, I'll throw all the links in this playlist right here. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.